Hi everyone, welcome back to another Beyblade Burst Sparking or Super King unboxing, and today we've got the brand new Lucifer the End to open up and check out. It's looking pretty awesome actually. So we've got an evolution here of our variant Lucifer, and yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet to see what they've added to this guy. We've also got a new image of our main protagonist there, looking pretty intimidating alongside his bay. And we'll go over to the back now for that parts listing, a small diagram there of some of the features that come with this evolution, some of the gimmicks, as well as up the top here. Let us know a bit about that, but we'll get into that more once we get this guy opened up, of course. And then on the lip, I kind of skip over this a bit, but our stat there is looking pretty crazy with one of those completely off the scale there. So I have heard this is a heavy defense type base. I'm guessing that is the defense side of our stat, which is just crazy. And down to our actual parts breakdown here. So starting with our sparking chip, the new Lucifer sparking chip, the second version of it, and then our new limit brake system ring here. So at the end, of course, it is called, and then our disc for the base, so it is called KOU. So this is our limit brake disc. So we've had KOU and now it's KOU. And then finally our driver, which is called drift, and another diagram over on the side here of some of the other features that come with this bay, as well as one for the sparking chip itself. So that's going to be really cool to check that one out. That's pretty much it for the packaging. So let's get this guy opened up and have a better look at everything inside. Okay, we're unboxed, and we've got stickers, of course, so let's get those on and then begin our review. Alright folks, that's our stickers on, and that was pretty frustrating, to be honest. These foil stickers are hard to work with, but we got there in the end. And yeah, let's get into our review of this bay. Okay, first thing we're taking a look at is our new Lucifer sparking chip, and that new design on it too is pretty awesome. Like they've added in a lot more of that avatar to it for the bay. So we've got some hands and claws now, moving away from that other design that we had from the previous Lucifer, which did look quite a bit like the Valkyrie design, which we have for this sparking series. So yeah, good to see the change there. And then we've got a lot of metal to this chip as well. So anything that you can see that's purple here is actually made from metal. I think the only painted bit that's plastic is where those claws, I think their claws are. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this weighs up against the other two, the Helios Volcano, and yeah, our Hyperion Burn. So we're going to do that in a moment, but we've got a gimmick with this thing which I want to quickly discuss. So if you flip it over, you notice this this red stopper in the center here, and it is made out of rubber, so a little red rubber stopper, and that will when you piece this bay together, come in contact with this section of your driver, and that's supposed to provide a bit more burst resistance when it does so. So yeah, that's pretty interesting that they've added that in there, and it'll be yeah, also interesting to see how much of an effect that does have on burst resistance with the bay. I'm not too sure how much of a difference it'll make, but yeah, at least add a little bit of extra resistance there. And yeah, another thing that I did forget to mention last time I reviewed these bays, and my camera's just gone out of focus there, was these chips are completely compatible with our previous rings from this series, so you can put this on something like World Spriggan or any of those other bays. So yeah, don't think that this bit is not compatible. There is quite a few other things that aren't compatible with these bays because of the whole new system that we've got going with them. But yeah, these chips definitely 100% compatible. All right, well, let's move on and weigh this guy up. So we'll get out our little weighing device here, which I put way too far away, and turn him on for a second. And here we go. So what do we get with this one? We've got 6.32, not bad. And then our previous ones for these new designs, that's Helios Volcanoes one, and that's 5.62. And I am guessing this is going to be the heaviest one so far that we've got. And then we've got 5.80. So there we go. The heaviest one so far out of this limit break series of bays. And let's have a look at our new ring sort of chassis system next. And yeah, here it is. Our the end ring slash chassis combo for this bay, and yeah, nice and chunky, so incredibly thick are these new ring systems. And yeah, really nice color design. As I said when reading out the packaging, completely a defense type of bay, so you can see lots of defensive points surrounding it. Not too much, of course, in the attacking side of things. We've just got lots of little bumps and grooves that your bay or your opposing bay can get knocked back from. Also, we've got a little bit of a flexible section, or 3 flexible sections on this as well, which is supposed to provide a small amount of absorption, damage absorption, but I don't know how much that will actually work in the real world, because even though they are slightly flexible, if this section here, these little hollow sections surrounding the bay, you can sort of flex them in a little bit, but it is still quite rigid. It's not rubber, so it is still plastic, hard plastic. So yeah, for that, in order for that to actually happen, you'd have to have quite a bit of an impact. So I said I don't know how much that will actually come into play in the real world, but anyways, it is meant to be a one of the gimmicks to this bay. And then we've got the main gimmick, which can be activated with our new limit break system here, and I will demonstrate that. I might as well demonstrate it now. I was going to demonstrate it putting it together, but yeah, so of course when these tabs are triggered by our disc there, our limit break disc, it will activate this gimmick, and click that in now, and this outer part drops down, exposing quite a large gap around the bay there, so another point in which your opponent can get caught up in. And then we've got this free spinning section, which is now released, so that will also absorb some impacts with that now free spinning. And yeah, that looks really cool. I love how they've got that pink there from the previous Lucifer, those tongues on the chassis. Yeah, really, really awesome that they've gone and added that in. You couldn't quite see it before once it was closed up. And yeah, with that being lowered too, we're going to also change the contact points on this bay. So yeah, it's going to be really awesome to see how this does perform. And yeah, to close this guy back up, so you just line this free spinning section up with those gaps, and you hear a slight click when you push it down, and then gives the top section a bit of a twist, and you'll get a secondary click when all these points line up. And there we go, we're locked back into place, ready for that gimmick to activate once again. And yeah, that'll be it for this. Oh, sorry, teeth. Almost forgot the teeth. So our teeth here, they do look a little bit more shallow than usual. Just by eye, I can't be 100% about that, but yeah, it looks like they might be not as strong as our Helios and our Hyperion, but yeah, we'll check that out once we piece him together. Okay, moving on. And yeah, here is our third limit break disc from this small series of bays, and this one is KOU. So yeah, previous ones I mentioned were CHO, O, and now we've got KOU. And yeah, big design change with this guy compared to the other two. So the other two were really quite rounded. So yeah, just how round that one is, and then our other one here. So yeah, they've definitely changed the design with this one, and it does look a lot more like a defensive design with these huge cutout sections and those pointed protrusions now. So if this were actually to contact a bay, it would create quite a heavy contact, I would think. And then the other thing is going to be our position of our arrow here. So this is when our limit break gimmick activates. So we've got all the way to the end now. So this one, I think this one was the activates on the first click, and then this one was in the middle there, so activating on the second click. And because we're all the way to the end now, we are going to activate on the third click, so probably just one away from bursting for this one. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. I think these are going to be, this is going to be the last one that we'll see from this limit break series. I could be completely wrong about that. They might come out with more of these, just vary their designs a bit, but it's definitely the last one when it comes to click position. And yeah, let's weigh them up now, and we'll compare a weight difference between the other two. I think this is going to be the lighter one, of course, because of how much is taken away from it metal wise to get that design. So we'll grab out our weighing machine again and get him on there. So 27.16, and then we'll go 31.54, and then 29.76. So yeah, the lightest out of the three of them. Okay, well, last up we've got our new driver, and yeah, that is Drift. And this guy does look quite similar to the previous driver for this bay, which was Mobius. Has the same free spinning sort of tip, and camera keeps losing focus here. That's quite annoying. There we go. And but with one obvious difference, and that is that we've got this massively chunky surrounding section on the base here, and makes it pretty much a freestanding bay. Like, this thing is going to be pretty hard to topple over. So we're going to get I think a nice little increase to life after death with that compared to the Mobius one. if you can see here, I'll just plop him down, and yeah, there's no real way that this thing can fall over completely. So yeah, that is definitely a pretty cool feature of it. Yeah, and we've got some little cutout sections here, so adding to that defense sort of design to things. I doubt they will ever once again come in contact with an opponent, but yeah, definitely keeping up with that that whole defense theme. Okay, well, let's piece this guy together and we'll have a feel of those clicks and also activate that gimmick with our limit break disc. All right, let's get all these parts on our bay now, and so our chip there, and then we've already got the gimmick activated because that'll happen anyway, because putting this disc on will trigger that. So I've already got it going, and there we go, get them on, and those clicks. So I'm gonna take back my previous statement where I thought these teeth were a little bit more shallow. I actually think they're probably the exact same. The only difference being is going to be that this isn't a dash driver, so those clicks are going to seem like they're lighter. I'm sure if we did add a dash driver that the other two bays from this series have, we'll get the same heavy clicks. But then, you know, we're going to get that extra bit of burst resistance, which you really can't feel too much, if I'm honest about that. Like, I don't really see where this burst resistance does come in from that stopper, from that chip. But anyways, that is on, and let's lock up our gimmick here, and there we are, clicked into place. And yeah, let's activate him now. So it should be 3 clicks. So 1, 2, and 3. There it goes, exposing that nice pink coloring there. So you can see that that is active, and that free spinning bit there. Awesome. Okay then, well yeah, let's grab out a stadium to finalize this review and see how he runs. Okay, we're all set up now, and we're going to use the original Lucifer launcher for this test because I think it's pretty fitting to do so. I'm going to try and flat launch to start with. Let's see how successful I'll be at that. I'm not too sure. Anyway, and then we'll try and pick up some movement. So 3, 2, 1, go shoot. So, and wow, that was not a flat launch. So aggressive movement, and wow, actually picking up quite a bit of grip there on that bottom section of the driver with that lip on the stadium. So wow, that was some pretty ridiculous movement just then, and we're just kind of running on that at the moment. So wow, geez, that was quite out of control. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try and get on that very tip, and there we go. So that's a bit better. Alright, so we did get a bit of movement initially, but it settled back down onto that tip. So there we go. I'd call that one successful. And now we're running on that very tip. Also, that'll probably wear down just like the original Mobius driver there, and you probably won't be able to spin on it like this for too long. Once it does, or if at all. But yeah, anyway, that's it from me, folks. I hope you liked the video, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, and also Merry Christmas to you all.